Aquarius, welcome to your bonus in-depth reading. That is the 3-month overview, January, February, March. I hope you're well. I hope you are fabulous. We're going to start by going over the board I'm using for you and all 12 signs. That way we're all on the same page. We'll open your reading by taking a look at you for the month of January 1, the Magician, right? Flowing into February 2, the High Priestess. And then, of course, March 3, the Empress. Bottom row, those energies I think are kind of important when we do the 3-month overview, such as the Sun. Long story short, are we happy? And do we know it? Are we living it? Are we loving it? Or perhaps our idea of the Sun is changing. Very common, which is why I look at it. The Tower, anything unexpected over the next several months we should know about. Like always, take it resonates, leave it does not, but do keep in mind these are largely future-oriented, right? So back here in December, do you have an idea of what to expect over the next several months? Yeah, of course you do. But I'm here to see the stuff you don't know about, and as much as the confirmation pieces. Ideally, it's a little bit of both. And then also I want to point out what I see for you in January, or rather what is the subject of January may not necessarily be the point of February. Sometimes these advanced readings are linear, and that can be, well, I guess you could say easier to understand. However, I like it when they jump around. I like it when people show me I'm doing a little bit of this and that. But overall, my job here is to clarify the heck out of this thing and make it make sense for you. But like always, if it resonates, great. If it doesn't, well, perhaps check out your other placements. Normal. I will also point out Cinnamon is home today, so you might hear her running around in the background, to and fro, all that stuff. All right, let's get cracking. Show me, Aquarius, in January. Your season will be in your season right around mid, almost late January. Yeah? We will be in Aquarius season before we all know it. I saw the star drop for many a collective, perhaps the first 3 or 4 I did. Yeah. Showed me a lot of people are focused on the new year and what that means to them. All right, let's see what it means to you. Show me, Aquarius, please, in January. The Hierophant, 6 of Swords, the Emperor, Temperance, 10 of Cups, Knights of Pentacles. Okay. Tricky. I have 2 figureheads starting out in January. The Hierophant, the Emperor, they can be both incredibly stubborn in their own way. They can be each other's BFFs or frenemies. 6 of Swords. There's the proposition. To leave this behind, it's acknowledged. It's acknowledged. It's almost like you two are staring each other down. Is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? Am I leaving this behind? Are you leaving this behind? Are we leaving each other behind? What are we doing? You want to know? They want to know. Somewhere between the two, your energies are standing up and recognizing each other over a singular topic with 6 of Swords. Knights of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, Temperance. There's the proposition here. To heal this further. We're talking long road efforts. Carefully, slowly, Knights of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, Temperance. Let's give this a little more time. A little more patience, a little more healing. I'm willing if you are. Long road, like I said. Nothing rushed about that at all. 10 of Cups, we're trying to focus on the inner circle, family, friends. Okay. That includes the 2 people I'm looking at. So, that seems to be the consensus in January. Let's take this long road, you and I, and see if we can't still find meaning in each other's lives. It will take time. And I might even be seeing a marker. Give it so many months. But that's not the focus. The focus is can we continue to move in this direction for our benefit and others? Ten of Cups, do we still harmonize in each other's lives in a good way, a loving way, in a supportive way? And that's what we want to know. We're not done exploring that or asking that question. Okay, we're not done with it. We have a lot of power energy here today, just in the opening. So FYI, Aries, Taurus, Sagittarius. Don't get me wrong. That's intimidating at the start of the year. It is. Two powerful energies locked on one question. Are we here or are we not here? Are we together or not together? And if we choose to explore this further, this needs to be the objective. Healing, love, support. And actually be part of it. I mean, really be part of it. Ten of Cups, like I said, in a circle. Family, friends, 2 people, 200, it doesn't matter. It's whom you love and support at the end of the day, and they actually reasonably show up in your life in a consistent way. Okay? And you and theirs. And you two want to know, do you still have that? We're going to evoke temperance, I believe, and find out. That's the plan anyway with the Knight of Pentacles. What I'm saying here is not light. It is not frivolous. It's pretty heavy. But I see 2 people looking at this in a respectful way. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm sure it gets tense. I think you both can be possibly labeled and or described as stubborn. But you would know that. I do believe you're kind of showing me more the gentle countenance. Okay, it's coming more from a spiritual place as opposed to the authoritative self. But nevertheless, you know what you're working with or trying to work with. I will push further on that topic. For now, let's take a look at you for February. Show me Aquarius, please, in February. Okay. Ace of Swords, the High Priestess, 10 of Pentacles. Very good. Good. Very good. 9 of Cups, the Moon, the Magician. Okay. All right. That's fine. I'll have to push on that more too. Ace of Swords, your Master Symbol. Boom. High Priestess, 10 of Pentacles. Nice. Okay. Laying it out. Boom, boom, boom. This is what I know. This is what I feel. Excellent. Excellent. So here we have the intelligent self met with the intuitive self. Excellent. Once more. One of my favorite combinations, literally right there. Just those two make me happy seeing that for people. It's very much in Western thinking that we got into this trouble over a divided sort of approach to things. It's either this is what I know or this is what I feel. It's ideally both. These two are not mutually exclusive. Ideally, they work together. Okay? And you're showing that's exactly what you're doing. You're sticking to your truth. You remain open to the intuitive process. 10 of Pentacles, you're like, this is where it's at. This is my focus. I have a strong feeling about this. Stability. Foundation. It's intact. I feel it. I'm in tune with it. Okay? So you're navigating from a place of experience, intellectual insight, and feeling good. Those are some good components. In February, when you look around at your world, you're saying, okay, I strongly feel, believe, and have concluded things are pretty darn stable. And that feels really good. Yes, it does. Indeed. I like that. So you're saying the long road, emotional stability with temperance. We evoked the name of temperance here. Patience, that's not waiting. Okay, let's not confuse the two. Waiting and patience are not the same thing. Patience is a skill that goes back or harkens back to healing. Waiting does nothing. It's exactly what it sounds like, right? So we have a long road here for healing. 10 of Cups, the inner circle. By February, you're showing me, I'm looking around. Things are pretty solid. Okay. Boom. Mind is on point. Intuitive self on point. Everyday world, 10 of Pentacles, which is vast for you, on point. Good. Nice. Got the square there. Now, 9 of Cups, you're personally pleased. All right. Good. I'm happy to see that. This is the tricky bit. The moon, magician. I need to see what you're manifesting, but you're not acknowledging it. So that's a tricky one right there. It's not an accusation. Don't take it as one. It's just the truth as I see it. You're manifesting something, but you're not acknowledging it. And that can be a tricky, sometimes dangerous thing. When we're manifesting, if you're familiar with my work, I will tell you, you need to know it, own it. Don't be shy about it. Say, I am manifesting this. That way you're much more likely to get your manifestation in the correct form. Or if you're not acknowledging what you desire, such as with the moon here is blocking it, it's obscured with this sense of deep feeling of awkwardness, depression, shame, anxiety. So that can't be true. Push it down, suppress it. Well, guess what? A part of you is still manifesting no matter how much you try to smother it up. Okay? And then you're going to get the results in some way. But you will most likely put yourself in a position to reject that manifestation. Okay, and well, that's as a natural consequence. We weren't acknowledging it to begin with, so you'll have no problem rejecting it if it comes through in reality. Okay, so that's a problem. Or we'll misconstrue the desire, misunderstand it, not line up to it, just so on and so forth. See this as a threat instead of what your soul was trying to speak to. Okay, so that's the danger zone of the magician under the moon. If it comes forward, you might perceive it as a threat even though your soul desires it. So I need to see, with all due respect, this is why we're here, what it is that you are manifesting from within the depths of you, that you don't feel comfortable with, that you don't want to make the space to acknowledge. Because you're saying right now, you're happy as a clam in February. Everything is just so. Okay. I'm happy. I'm happy you're happy. What is it you don't want to acknowledge? I understand everything is right and correct in your world by February, and I'm happy for you. I really am. It's good. But what is it that you desire that you will not acknowledge? Curious. Now you got my attention. Everything else was pretty much a walk in the park up until that point. And the fact of the matter is, the way I'm looking at you in December, your focus in January and in February, you wouldn't know. You really wouldn't know. So I can clarify it right now, and if it still doesn't make sense to you, it's not going to make sense to you. So it's going to be more like a FYI. This will either be relevant to you by February, perhaps not on February 1 or February 15th. Or it won't. It could happen in January too, and I could be seeing a flow through. All right, but if it doesn't happen by February, whatever, then probably not. Okay, it's probably not yours. I am curious, I must say. All right, but before we get there, show me Aquarius in March. Show me Aquarius, please, in March. This is what a private reading kind of feels like. It gets all up in your business. It gets pushed and layered on. I know it can get uncomfortable, okay? But do keep in mind, regardless, as much as I try to mimic the one-to-one promise, the one-to-one process in in-depth readings, these are still ultimately collective readings. All right. So you get to say. I'll get to you. Show me Aquarius, please, in March. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, Five of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Knight of Cups, Six of Pentacles. Okay. something comes through for you in March. And at first, I was like, okay, you're determined to turn your back on it. You don't see it as an opportunity, or you refuse to see it as an opportunity. In fact, you have a very poor concept around it. Ace of Pentacles, something comes through for you, yeah. A rather meaningful opportunity. Eight of Swords, Five of Pentacles, it's almost like you're determined to ignore it. It's like, and even if you gave it attention, you're like, I know what would happen. It would break anyway. Five of Pentacles, there's no point. There's no point. Don't acknowledge that Ace of Pentacles. And then something happens for you. I don't know what happened. We'll take a look. It's so small. Teeny tiny little guy there at the Page of Swords. Knight of Cups, Six of Pentacles. You literally turn your feeling around about it. And you see it more positively by March. This is coming through heavily as a work aspect. And this is absolutely where we jump subjects a little bit. So March, you're showing me the emphasis here of financial, career, work, entities, opportunities, something like that. But yeah, March, there's something here you see as a bad deal, or there's no point, or discontinue that Ace of Pentacles opportunity. Don't take it seriously. Don't give it any more thought or attention, Aquarius. And then a little bit of right there in the 11th hour in March, somewhere in March, mid to late, you say, you know what? Maybe I'm thinking about it all wrong. And this is something you're very likely to do. You're much more likely to show me the Page of Swords as an inquiry than any other sign. Okay. And that's actually traditionally the proper interpretation of the Page of Swords is very light inquiry. The reason why the Page of Swords got associated with spying or observation is because he's a little guy. There's only so much he can do except look. But it's actually the first reference point for growing knowledge. Okay. So when you're a student and you don't know nothing, you keep your mouth shut. You don't argue with the teacher. You don't know nothing about nothing. So what do? You listen, you observe, you watch, and then your knowledge base grows, okay? But it starts with that willingness to have, even in the smallest of ways, an open mind on the subject. And like I said, you're much more likely to show me that. Do you know why? Ace of Swords is your master symbol. You, above all signs, would recognize and acknowledge you got to start somewhere. All right? So, Knight of Cups. Literally, you start to have a change of feeling on this one. This is where your intellectual, intuitive, and realistic perspective is going to pay off for you in March. Something here is like, that's no dice. That's no good. It's literally like no dice. I'm not going to take a risk on this. I'm not going to open up to this. This is not a viable opportunity. I will not pursue this contract, this effort. No, it's stupid. And then you're like, wait a minute, hold on. There's something about that changes your mind. You're like, how can I make that work for me, though? Maybe it doesn't have to be a Five of Pentacles. Maybe it can be more operable. So again, 5 and 6, what's the difference? 1 pentacle. Something that runs in the red, negative, as we would say, versus something that runs in the black, a little bit more positive and profitable. And, you have a Knight of Cups. You have a different feeling about it now. You grew into it, though. At first, you were determined to write it off. It's almost like you were trying to not have to deal with it. Give it your proper attention. Something like that. It's like it would be one less thing to deal with, right? Am I right? It's one less thing to deal with. Let's just assume it's going to suck. I don't want to deal with it. And then you went, wait a minute. I like that. So I actually like that. That's very clever of you. It's very clever of you in March. So expect a little bit more positive balances, an increase or influx of responsibilities here. You really wanted to dismiss that. I get that. I have that feeling for you. It would just make my life easier if I reject that Ace of Pentacles. It would just be so much easier if I don't see the benefit of it. There's something about you just like you couldn't help it. It's like, no, I'm going to mess with that a little bit. And then you changed your mind on it. I'm glad you did. You're making that work for you. But you're going to be so tempted to dismiss it. But I really think it's about pressure, time, energy, and effort. You're like, I can't see how I can put anything into that. You didn't want to see it. And it would be one less thing to do, right? There's something about that. You're like, you know what? Hold up. If I lose that opportunity, it's on me. I'll figure out how to make it work for me. And you did. All right. So, March is good. It doesn't seem to start out that way, but it ends that way. a little bit of a frown. You turned it upside down. But again, it has to do with the work or material world. Okay? All right. Now, happiness, please. Show me Aquarius's happiness. Show me Aquarius's happiness, please. Let's do one more. Show me Aquarius's happiness. What's up? Six of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, Ace of Wands. Yeah. You've been wanting new opportunities, more engaging ones. Oh, more interesting opportunities. I hear you. The Magician, Queen of Cups, Ten of Wands. That's what your heart's speaking to. Okay. But you don't know yet, or you won't acknowledge it. I see. You tie that to a difficult subject. All right, let's back up. Six of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, you, Ace of Wands. You have been wanting more opportunities anyway. You've been meaning to increase your bottom line. You have been meaning to increase your balances. Again, balances, I know that confuses people. It's a very generic cover term in tarot for balances. That could be anything. Anything where you contribute your time, energy, effort, resources in order to get something back from it. So again, multiple balances, stuff that's contractual, work in nature, or your everyday obligations, it racks up pretty darn quickly. Most people, when they stop and think about it, it's like, oh yeah, I do about 20 or 30 balances a day. Yeah, that's about right. It's not just work. And it can also be work. There you go. So you're showing me positivity around the subject. It would make you very happy, you said, to increase your bottom line. It would make you very happy to increase your opportunities in work or otherwise. It would be happy thing for you to increase your hours, to increase your responsibilities, to increase your contracts. Okay. So that's been something that you've been working on. And you're like, for you, it's a never ending story, but you love it. How can I bring more in? But it's done so in a very smooth way, in a very efficient way. Again, I have to point out in March, there's stuff here that first you're not excited about. You don't see the opportunity in it. It looks like a hard-working Ace of Pentacles. It just has a history of not working out well or working poorly. You gave it another look-see. You have a very special moment where you're able to see it or work with it differently. And then it goes into a positive space. So this is an ongoing, what you call an ongoing sun. This is a steady source of happiness for you. Always finding those opportunities. Creating more opportunity, not less. Someone who always has a lot going on for them and they actively participate in that. Overall, that makes you very happy. That's good. That's a very simple sort of happiness, and it's one that's actually achievable literally every day. You're always looking for more. I'm not saying like greedy, more. I mean like looking to do more, be part of more. Increase, but in a workable way. All right, very workable way. I think you take on as much as you feel you can take on. That's good. That's good. So that's a direct pipeline to happiness. In other words, here you are, you acknowledge it, pretty darn smart. You're very aware of who you are and your mind. That's a constant source of happiness for you. And it's a workable, achievable thing every day. Oh, I bet you're that person. Just like as a kind of idea for you, what that might look like. Let's say you're that person, you like to make lists. Okay. And you're also that person that likes to check off those items on that list too. Now imagine that, pull that back, multiple balances, this. I got this going on, I'm contributing to this. Anyway. Yeah, but at March though, first you're going to be like, I know for a fact that one sucks. I don't like it. I'm going to write it off. Ugh. And then you have that, wait a minute. So anyway, I'm sorry. I like it because it lines up so nice. That's an ongoing sun. That's a steady source of happiness for you. Oh, I love it. I love it. That means you get to do your thing every day. All right. The Magician, Queen of Cups, Ten of Wands. There's that. Oh, there it is. There's that Magician. One that we're not acknowledging here in February. So, ooh, ooh. Well, I feel like Spirit just got all up in your business. That means this is a sun that you don't tap into now. That means it's with you now. A part of you is manifesting from the heart, but you're showing me a laborious activity around that subject. 10 of Wands, you associate it with difficulty. Oh, by the way, it's pickup day in the neighborhood, so if you hear those heavy diesel engines, that's what it is. I know, it is what it is. I have to be able to work and record when I can, and real life is a must. Okay? But yeah, Queen of Cups and the 10 of Wands. Whatever this is you manifest without acknowledging would, in theory, make you happy, but it's like I won't acknowledge that. You won't acknowledge that potential source of happiness. Many of you don't even know you're doing it. Your poor heart, your poor Queen of Cups there, so heavily weighed down, 10 of Wands. It's almost like you don't dare acknowledge it. It's just too much. It's like it would be too heavy to acknowledge it. All the more reason we need to, because I have to point out to you, you're not showing me manifestation of mind, which is active. You're not showing me manifestation of intuition, which means you are actively allowing your spirit to guide you into what it is that you want. And you're not manifesting from known experience, 10 of Pentacles. You're manifesting from a heart that you say is exhausted and shouldn't try. I have no complaints, I'll tell you why. About the background noise. So today's recycle, and you want to get as much of that out of your house as possible before Christmas Day. Okay, you get it out. The packaging, the wrapping, the boxing, whatever it is that you don't need right now, get it out in recycling now, because once Christmas rolls around, it's going to build up. So I'm like, go ahead, empty them out, get it out, get it out. Baby, I got 2 bins. I'm a hardcore recycler. I'm thinking about getting a 3rd because I'm responsible and I care about the earth. Anyway, sorry. That's a bit of my nonsense. I'm a real person. For better or worse, I'm a real person. Okay, so yeah, the Magician, there it is. But it's like the idea of manifesting from the heart exhausts you. I think that's why you don't want to acknowledge it. Kind of like that opportunity in March. Whatever that is, you're familiar with it. It's an Ace of Pentacles you're trying so hard not to take seriously because you have experience with it. It exhausts you. Well, I don't want to deal with it this year, or whatever that is. I'm seeing it as an annual opportunity, one that you're disinclined from, until you learn it to see it differently, and then you actually incorporate it quite well. But at first, you interpret it as a pain in your ass. Exhausting. Your poor heart. Your poor heart. Somewhere under your moon, your heart is manifesting. But you say it's such a heavy thing. You don't dare wish for it from the heart. It's so tiresome, it's exhausting. Nevertheless, you're doing it. So, I'm going to have to push on this real hard. Now, maybe you'll help me out. Maybe you will help your tarot reader out today, and you will be very direct about what that is. Maybe you won't. It's under your moon, so probably not. We'll see. But first, the Tower. Anything unexpected that Aquarius should know about over the next several months, yes? Show me. Ten of Swords, King of Wands, the Hermit. Okay. Judgment. 5 of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. It looks like things at some point reached a breaking point for you. And we didn't think we'd be able to fix it. The Hermit. King of Wands, Ten of Swords. Yeah. We didn't think we'd be able to fix it. We didn't think we'd be able to overturn the ending. It's painful. It seemed like such a disastrous thing. There's just no way. When does that occur? It must be here. I don't know how long you were working through that, perhaps since last fall. Which I guess you could say we're still technically in. We don't hit winter solstice. It's fun trying to say that with a lisp. We don't get to winter solstice until the 21st. And then we enter Capricorn season. So when I say last fall, that's how I'm feeling it. We were looking at what looks like an impossible situation since the fall. How can I fix this? And it seemed like we just couldn't. It was futile. It's a painful subject, one you're familiar with. Judgment. 5 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles. We made a judgment call to fix the situation. To give it our best. I mean, to really give it our best. And if we couldn't fix it, we said we'd leave it alone. Okay? You have that nature in you. You allow the real world to inform you of your actions. So you are willing to incorporate the results, no matter how they stand. Positive, good. Negative, bad. Be like, I won't push back on the evidence. If there's really nothing here to work with, I won't work with it. Yeah, that's a distinct decision here. To turn an impossible situation into something that's possible. You got really close, though, to thinking that it was never... You just couldn't. That Hermit was pushing back on that tower real hard. Is this salvageable? Is it possible? Because at some point in your timeline, you thought it was pretty fucking impossible. Am I right? But I like how you're not going to argue with the evidence. However the evidence falls, be it positive, good, or negative, bad, you'll accept it. Okay. I want to see this opening. The one where these two people are looking at each other and it's a little stiff. A little bit stiff there. You two seem to acknowledge the Six of Swords, the space between you, either literally or metaphorically. Either way, it's there. And you could continue to separate and stay that way. Or we can walk a steady path of healing. Let's do one more. But you're right. I see, I told you, you have some really strongly defined aspects of self here that I admire a great deal. Parts of you are still kind of unknown, or whereabouts unknown. One, a big one, the emotional self. But your mind, your direction, your intuitive self, I should say, and the experience, they line up very well. So I respect that you appreciate evidence-based decision-making. You're even willing to open up in a different... as long as you get positive results, you're willing to look at something differently. You've shown me that. As long as you have reason. There it is. Strength. Six of Swords. The Lovers. I didn't quite know how to interpret your two's connection. By all rights with the Hierophant there. And I see the Ten of Cups, the inner circle. I could have said, this is family, we're looking at spouse. I wasn't sure, so I kind of kept that to myself. Really, ultimately, when I do something like that, it's because I want the collective to figure out who that is for themselves. Okay. I didn't know if we were talking about family, friend, spouse. The Hierophant isn't commitment, just marriage. This is my values, these are my beliefs. That begins with the self. It's not defined by your relationship to someone else. Okay, they're a part of it, or they can be an extension to it. But it begins with the self. So you're showing me I choose to stand here based on my own sense of values and faith. The Emperor, a little stiff. Could be that this person's just got a really good poker face, or I don't quite know, a firm countenance. But I still didn't want, I didn't quite understand what your two's connection was. Other than the fact that we wanted to show this some patience and find space in each other's lives in an emotionally cohesive way. It's love and support. That's it. It's a strong connection. Strength. Six of Swords. The Lovers. We got all sorts of major players here today. Leo, possibly Gemini. You share this. The both of you share this experience. You're both pretty tough cookies, spiritually speaking. Both disciplined, aren't you? Oh, the two of you are very disciplined. I see that. Like I said, you two could be each other's BFFs or worst enemies if that's the direction you two chose, but I think the both of you are much too big for that. This is not a frenemy situation. You're undermining each other's efforts, thoughts, feelings, beliefs. No. If connected well, you two would build each other up properly. And that was the idea. Can we be in each other's lives in a good way? If we show this thing patience and steadiness without overstepping, can we be in each other's lives? That's what you both want to know. Okay. Okay. Fair. Goodness me, you two are both very strong-willed. I keep coming out word discipline. You're disciplined, so are they. You're more than strong-willed. The both of you are more than strong-willed and passionate. You both have core beliefs that you deal with every day. A sense of self and character every day. You both understand without having to say. Passion's great, but discipline is what really makes the grade. You both understand that. Like I said, if the Lovers' connection was allowed to connect properly to this, you two would be each other's biggest advocates, teammates, driving the connection upwards and outwards, always. You know, good job you. No, good job you. You did amazing things here today. No, you did amazing things. You know what? You're awesome. No, you're awesome. God. Sorry, that brought to mind the meme of, it was a meme, famous meme for a while there. You know how it is on the internet, everything is a short life, but of Keanu Reeves. He was at a convention once, and somebody in the audience yelled at him, "You're breathtaking," and he pitched it right back, "You're breathtaking." That's exactly what that's like. You two really know how to pitch the best of your energies towards each other. But I also see at the opening of January, we either respect the distance between us permanently, or we can find our way back to each other patiently, kindly, lovingly. Find that space. And you emphasize Ten of Cups, emotional structure, stability. Okay? More inclusionary concepts. Not exactly direct access, one-to-one personal love, but more inclusionary. Okay. Okay. Whew. I'm nervous. I'm getting nervous for me too. This is such strong energies here. Oh my gosh, you two vibrate kind of high, don't you? Okay. There's his. That's a Ten of Swords. There it is. You've been contemplating this for a while. For some of you, it goes beyond seasons. A couple years. Wow. You're a long hauler, aren't you? Ten of Swords, look at you, baby. That would have been enough to discourage anybody. Shit. No wonder you thought it was the impossible task. But man, your hermit kept pushing. You kept pushing back on this tower. As the hermit does. He's not exactly a fighter. But he does challenge. I'm not done looking at this. I'm not done looking at this. I'm not done looking at this. And when it comes to this particular tower, it's one that you've been processing or digesting, as I would often say with the hermit, for some time. Going back and forth on it. Is this really an ending? Is it that impossible? It's painful, yes, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. It did. There it is. You're not the only one, Cookie. I don't know why I called you Cookie. I have no idea. I don't think I've ever said that before. Honey? Yes. Baby? Yes. It's very southern. I don't think I've called anybody Cookie before. Okay. That's different. Somebody that might have been like a little nickname, or you associate them with cookies or sweetness or something. I don't know. That's the way the cookie crumbles. I don't know. Tell me what your favorite cookie is. Mine is Snickerdoodle. Always. I'm the oddball. Yes, I love a Snickerdoodle cookie. I do. Oh, boy. Gosh, we've been processing that for a while. Okay. Okay. All right. I like what you two are doing in January. It's powerful. That Six of Swords. We can drift back in each other's lives or drift away. We work through this. Two of Pentacles, Ten of Swords. All right. So that first portion of your tower is there. It's one you've been working through. And what's the worst that can happen, right? The ending's already there. And it can continue to perpetuate too. You know that realistically. It's like the worst that could have happened already has. Fair. It's very true. Yeah. Maybe we can try to make space in each other's lives. I'm lingering on that because it's very courageous, it's bold, it's beautiful. And there is more to you both than meets the eye. You know? And I love that. That would also explain why your evidence kicked in. I sent him in. What are you doing? What are you up to? What you doing? You want to come say hi to Aquarius? There's my good girl. There's my babies. There's my pumpkity wumpkities. She has so many nicknames, it's ridiculous. You want to know what her full name is? It's like all her nicknames, if they're not enough. So Cinnamon, right? But Cinnababy, Cinnabon, Pumpkity Wumpkity. I don't even know how that one started. But her full name. Yeah, I know. I got your ear. Scratch. Yeah. Cinnamon, Roberta, St. James. Okay, I got your ears. Okay, I got your ears, Pumpkin. I got you. Oh, something must have irritated your ears. There you go. Does that feel better? Who has the most perfectly pointed ears? You do. Who has the most perfect ears? You. What? But yes, Cinnamon, Roberta, St. James. What? I can't right now. I'll give you a treat in a minute. A minute. Maybe 20 minutes, tops. I'll be in a second, baby. Thank you. I appreciate your patience. Okay. Oh, there you are on the split. Now, your outer world, tip-top. Love it. You do too. Love it. Evidence-based feeling of confidence, mental structure, sound judgments. Now, let's get to this moon bit, where I see that heart space of yours, poor thing, smothered. Otherwise, you have everything you want. Focus, stability, a sense of gains in this life, you know what I mean? Steady gains. I love that. But that poor heart of yours is manifesting behind the scenes. Your poor heart space is so tired. and yet still desires. And that's the power of manifestation, guys. That's the power of the heart. Our heart will often try to speak a language our mind just doesn't know how to acknowledge. Do you know what's funny about Aquarius? Traditionally, your power card is demonstrated with you, funnily enough, carrying a water jug, which means you would be associated with water. You're like, yes, except I don't get my hands wet. Right now, I see you in the process, well, further out, navigating emotions without getting your hands wet. Three of Swords, Page of Swords, the Chariot. Oh my God. The heartbeat in the Chariot is still struggling to express itself. Page of Swords, Three of Swords, so small. So fucking small inside you. Afraid of hurt, afraid of rejection, afraid to manifest from the heart and mean it and feel it specifically. Not just intellectually acknowledge it, that would help, but feel it. What do you want that you're not saying? You said inner circle. Love, support, harmonization, stability, being in tune with it all. Good stuff. And you, by all rights, accomplish it. So congratulations. But I have to push. I'm going to push on you. What is your heart craving? It wants to move forward, the Chariot. But it's like, I don't dare look at that or give it any more thought. Move forward in what? Queen of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. Nine of Pentacles. You crave someone's love. I don't see it as a bad thing. No, I don't. It's actually quite simple in nature. Nine of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, individuation of the self. Queen of Pentacles. You want for this person to love you personally. There's the Band-Aid. And I ripped it off. You don't know. Rather, let me rephrase that. You won't allow yourself to know. Individuation, positive markers, characteristics, someone who can love of their own free will. Wish fulfillment, Queen of Pentacles, that you can attach to, identify with, and feel secure by. Remember, the Aquarius I'm looking at is very evidence-based. You want this person to love you individually, not just the Ten of Cups. You don't have the space. And I don't mean that to be mean. You don't have the space. You won't acknowledge it, so you don't have the space. Your poor heart's tired. And yet the desire is still there. So I just ask you to be aware of it for yourself. So I would just say upgrade that moon. So the moon has a variety of shapes, sizes, flavors, experiences. It can mean so many things, okay? Between the lies we tell ourselves, which is largely fantasy or illusion. Okay. Shadows. All right. Half-truths, partial enlightenment. That really fucks with people because you have this idea that well, there's some truth there. But what part is fact and what part is fiction? And that's where a lot of people struggle with the moon. And for other people, probably one of the best ways we can recognize the moon, and this is what I'm actually encouraging for you, because I don't like people suppressing. That's not good. It's not healthy. I'm hoping that for you, this is going to be short-term, not long-term, because eventually it will catch up to you. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. I need you to upgrade your moon status between something is smothered way the hell down there and just upgrade it to an active secret. And that's the highest form of the moon can have in terms of secrets. That's what usually people think of first. It's usually the dark, murky stuff before it gets to secrets. So secret then, once it becomes an active secret, when you take that stuff that's way down there inside you, you pull it up. Okay. See this shit? I acknowledge this. I acknowledge it. I'm going to keep it to myself. No one needs to know, but at least I know. That's it. That's an active secret. And I promise you, that may not sound any better But guys, tarot ultimately is about progress, not about future outcomes that can be changed in 5 minutes as energy shifts and changes. So what we really want to aim for in tarot is progress. All cards in tarot, pros and cons. The moon has as many as anything else. Okay. So progress for you under that moon. That shit you're trying to suppress, and by all rights, you're very successful. Not always. Not always. Eventually it will come back and break through the surface. One of the ways that you can kind of keep that in check is to work through it, which means you have to have presence of mind, which again means you have to acknowledge it for yourself. Pull it from the depths. Hold it close to you. This is my secret. This is mine. I don't have to share it. I don't have to share it. But at least I know. And that's what you want. You want to know your own secrets. You want to know your own shadows. And that's how you make progress. Then you also have the opportunity to work through the moon. Okay? Which means you will have even further progress and you can go beyond the active secret. All right? So, as I often say, perhaps it's been a while since you've heard me say it, I don't care if you have secrets. Everybody does. Everybody. You're pretty honest. You're a pretty tough cookie. And you're honest. There's a lot of shit you can handle. I see that. But in this area, you're going to have to really endeavor to be more honest with yourself on this particular topic. Okay? So I have no problem if you keep secrets, just not from yourself. Because it's the secrets you keep from yourself that have the most repercussions. Those are the ones that will, well, not literally, but they will come back up and bite you in the ass later. That's why progress. Secrets, just not to you. You want more from this. You want this person to love you individually for you and just you. It's like, I can't say that. Never mind, act on it. There's too much heaviness that crosses your heart. You went out of your way to link up what looks like an impossible situation. You both carry a certain stature. I know you mean it. You don't want me to misunderstand. You don't want yourself to misunderstand, right? About motives, ulteriors, agendas. You really don't want that to be the thing, right? It's not. You meant it over here because it was authentic to you. But there's a real part of you, about a quarter of you, that gets smothered on this topic. That's real too. It's like you just don't want it to be, but it is. So work through it. Okay? And it's going to be awkward as ass at first. It's like, oh man, I have to admit this to myself. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Never mind hold it dear, and never mind work through it. Yeah, but there it is. My thing is to give you the best possible advice. And this is the best way that you can come to peace with this without hurting yourself, or causing further injury down the line. You're saying, I don't want any more, I don't want any more, I don't want any more. This is fair, this is fair, this is fair, this is fair. And it is. If there was a lie over here, I would have seen it. So I know you authentically want this. I know you want to create the space with them, long-term, long road. You will. But you need to make some peace with you. That quarter of you. That's a powerful quarter of you, my friend. You want them to love you. Of their own free will, because they can, because they want to. And they're quite the cats. So are you. Okay, let's jump on over to... Sorry. Let's jump on over to March. No strong impressions, it just... That was a very deep space for you. So I had to go down that road. Let's take a look at you in March. About that opportunity, you're like, eh. I don't know. March, you told yourself. I knew that was repeating. I knew that was a repeating Ace of Pentacles. And what does that mean? An annual thing, an annual opportunity, a construct that has to be rooted, made good upon, plant the seed, or reworked every year. So this is coming up as an annual thing. And you're like, I ain't going to have shit to do. I'm not going to do it. You told yourself I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Stupid. It's not going to work. And that's based on real experience. Again, the Aquarius I'm looking at, you're evidence-based. Okay. So that means you have a lot of experience with that annual thing, that thing that happens in March over and over again. When something starts to take shape, starts to take root, starts to take seed, you're used to it. You're that person who leans into multiple opportunities. That's a big part of what you get to experience every day. Apparently that point really hits home for you in March repeatedly. So that you're accustomed to it, in other words. And you really do try to see the good in your back and forth contracts and obligations and balances. You love it. You look forward to it, but you're like, this one, I said I wasn't going to deal with it this year. And you don't want to deal with it. It's something about it that just, you said, I won't do it. I won't do it. This, whatever that is in March, I'm not going to do it. So again, once more, in case we decided to skip around the video, which I don't recommend on the in-depths for obvious reasons, we can jump subjects. These two are pretty darn linear. This one is like, it's work stuff. And I'm normally good about that. But that one, I want to work with it this year. And then something happens, Page of Swords, Knight of Cups, Six of Pentacles, where you literally manage to turn the feeling around. And I don't quite know what that is. So I'm curious to how that Page of Swords, a little bit of new insight for you, that allowed you to see this in a different way, or experience it a different way, or communicate with it differently, and you got different results, which that's a big thing. Oh, okay. Ten of Cups, Two of Swords. Oh, the Devil. See? Okay. That's odd. Six of Pentacles. You turn that around. Oh. You're referring to that person. Oh. Are you getting their advice? You see things differently. Oh, Ten of Cups, Two of Swords, the Devil. Oh. Okay. It looks like we managed to clear things up. Or this person, the one that you tried to reharmonize with in your life, that was the main point of subject, they showed up. It looks like they helped give you some sort of clarity or insight in the situation. To see it differently or to think of it differently, and it doesn't have to be that bad. It may not be that difficult. I don't know, but you managed to see this opportunity very differently after it seems. I told you, with the right connection with the right person, it raises you up. Okay? Gave you some good insight. That helped clear up any confusion around outstanding fears or frustrations around this. And it allowed you to lean into that opportunity, that contract, or that balance more positively. Okay? Okay, that's interesting. There's that Ten of Cups. Two of Swords. Well, you're already starting to see the benefit of being connected to them by March, it seems. Okay. All right, yeah. I know you told yourself you weren't going to deal with that March nonsense. I know. So we had a good influence here. Feeling better. Take away from the fears or the confusion. I don't know, but it allowed you to approach it very differently. So that's good. It's good. That one's good, actually. Okay. I'd like to see more what that is, but it's so functionary. And that person that we work so hard to kind of get back in each other's good books. In some way they influence your decision. Stop being such a fearful thing and a more workable thing. Okay. Okay. All right, that's about it on that one. Where are we in time? Oh my. Oh man, I really got lost in yours today. Okay. I wish I could see more on that one. The Horseman, the Herald of Change, 30. Wow. Goodness me, that one means business. The Horseman, Herald of Change. And so it is. This is a time of change, you guys. Let's not take that for granted. I know a lot of people think, oh, new year, new me. The key word here is change. The Herald of Change. with this coming forward of the night, thought, action, deed, it changes things. 30. It changes things. You're changed. Unmarked trail, revelation. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see that. You are going down an unmarked trail, my friend. This is where you're going to have to define a path on your own terms, at least in this connection. Otherwise, your life is incredibly straightforward. And that's because you worked hard for that, so I'm not trying to dismiss anything you've done. Clearly, you have a life's worth of work in here. Okay? But unmarked trail. Yeah, you are going down an unmarked trail, my friend. So don't be afraid to put your stakes down and define that freaking trail. Okay? Goodness knows you've walked down enough with enough experience to have a lot of confidence in what you do and why you do it. But this one, you get to define a little bit more on your terms because it's important to you. It's an unmarked trail. You've done enough miles. You know when you're making progress. And define that trail. 57, stars in the sky, limitless possibilities. Yeah, it's going to take you places. Define that trail, I promise you. A lot of our so-called trails in this life are what we make of them. They have not already been laid out by others. We add our own influence. And this one's specifically for you. For you to work out. 57, 51. The stars in the sky, limitless possibility. Yeah. And also, just FYI, down here in March, when you were determined to not blah, blah, blah. Being connected to them helps you see the possibility in things. In the right ways. A lot of fear of confusion here about that. It bothers me. I'd like to see more about it. I really would. You had such a poor opinion of that opportunity in March, and then you kind of shift out of that very slowly. Okay. And whomever that is, they help you see how you can harmonize with it. I'm not quite done with that. I keep looking at it. I'm irritated. I don't feel like I have enough speak up, and so it is. Yeah, I mean, speak up is through largely January. But maybe in time. That spot in you that's hard for you to recognize. Okay, pay attention. Yeah. I understand that poses real difficulty here. I know. Okay, it's time. Release. Detach. Release. Dove, sign of peace. Detach. It's time. Old fears, old thinking. I don't see this as separating. I don't. Release the fears in this impossible situation. Detach from it. Okay. Whereas once you thought it was unworkable, it's time to prove otherwise. I know. But be at peace. Release. And that was the idea between you two. 6 of Swords between you two. We can either completely detach or we can drift back in each other's lives. But under certain terms and conditions of emotional harmony, love and support. Okay? Good characteristics of two people who really care about each other. And want to support each other. We don't have to. But I'd like peace on this. I know. I'm going to speak up. It's time. It's coming. Okay. Communicate clearly. Of course. That's part of the speak up. Communicate clearly. And improving health. Oh, yeah. I see that. One's mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, physical health. But improving health. You know, it could be that this is in me. I don't know if you feel it, but this is where I'd like us to perhaps connect for good reasons. The overall concept here is improving one's health. Okay? We have two letters, G and F. We have the medallion of Libra. Some of you, yeah. If you have Libra in your chart, check those out. I'm not saying it was the same. I just feel like I'm supposed to say that. You might have some Libra in your chart. Could be connecting to, or the season might be important to you. That's Libra season, which is right next to Virgo season. So, okay. The infinity loop, the soul bond. Yes, I see it. I'm sure. You two know each other. And the soul and the heart. Peacock. A little bit of a display there. A little bit of display, attraction. Beauty. Maybe a little bit of showy-offy. You don't really come across as a showy-offy person. I'm not saying that you don't have your moments. You give yourself a little look in the mirror before you walk out the door. Sure. Just make sure everything's in place. No, it's something here about the attractive qualities. Admiration of colors, display, character. It's bold, it's bright, it's different. It's natural. Aquarius, honey, yours, if that's true, yours might be the longest running, but I just... Other than that person's influence, that you saw this impossible, mentally impossible thing here in March that shows up as a realistic construct that you are familiar with and you said you wouldn't have anything to do with it this year. With this person's help, you learn to see it differently and perhaps point out confusion or outstanding fears around the subject. King of Swords. Intellectualism. The Five of Pentacles. Oh, Three of Pentacles. It looks like they offered to possibly help you with something in March. Maybe. Oh, there it is again. I knew it was the Five of Pentacles is right here. Three of Pentacles. Offer. Offer to help. To put more into this, to help you with it, to make the process easier. But yeah. And there's something here with the advice is to increase your assistance or increase your help. So if they don't directly propose to help you with this thing in March, and that helps turn your energy around towards it and make you look at it more positively, then the overall advice, which is coming from a sound mind directly towards you, is to increase your network around it or your sources for help around it. Find more people who are adjacent to the idea. So more cooperative partners, alliances, something like that. And if that fails, then let it go. But with some sort of assistance here, you can make this more positive. Yes. I think what they're trying to show me is that you are putting too much work into this. You need assistance with it. Otherwise, it might be better functioning, or it could be better functioning. Either their direct effort to help or their advice to you is just get more people. You're doing too much, or you're trying to take on too much with this one. You can't seem to crack that particular code on your own. You're going to need the help of others. And I can see that you're used to flying solo. Okay. All right. Well, that seemed pretty straightforward. So it wasn't that big of a mystery. Maybe that's what they point out to you. Could be that simple. All right. Aquarius, honey, I do hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well.